and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome to another episode of the podcast that, if your ears were eyes and you blinked, you'd probably miss something. It is Pleasure Explosion. I am your host this week. My name is Jack Cruz. I'm joined by the public school brawler, Dylan Blight.
What up, guys? I'll smash your fucking face.
Teacher's pet, Ashley Hobley.
Hello, ladies, gentlemen, boys and girls.
Back to school specials, Thomas Marshall.
I'm not sure what I did to deserve that.
And King College's finest, John O'Peck.
What's going on, guys?
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us again for another week. In case you didn't know, from the punny, funny little intro thingies, we're going to be talking about schools this week, or school in general, or just funny stories, experiences, terrible things that happened to you that scarred you for life. We're talking all things education and whatnot. We are missing the curmudgeonly baker this week. May he rest in peace. And when I say rest, as in he's napping, so we want him to do that peacefully.
It's all right, he didn't finish school. So.
R.I.P.
Do you want to explain why your topic changed? Because last week,
yes,
if anyone listened, halfway through the show, you're like, oh, this is going to be like my topic next week. And then they listened this week, it's like, yeah, that relevant thing about talking about politics and God
deep,
and the way we can make the world. Yeah, deep meaning. You're like, yeah, I suddenly remembered I wanted to bring up school during all that and funny stories. So
it's funny. School was never on my list of like. I have like a list of topics in my phone of things that I've thought up that we'll get to one day, but my topic was originally going to be a little bit more serious, just around sort of some political climate and et cetera, and then during the week we were having a conversation, as we do most of the time, because we speak to each other more than we probably speak to anybody else, which is troublesome and concerning. And we started talking about schools, and I was like, this is a good topic. I'm like, we should stop talking about this because there's some good stuff here. And then I'm like, you know what? This is going to be my topic this week. I'm flipping the script.
Hopefully we didn't use it all up.
Yeah, thankfully, yeah. So we're going to talk a little bit about that, and we're going to start with the Dylan Blight. Because you're the reason I picked this topic, because you seem to have some fantastic stories. We're also just going to go around and like everyone just, your school journey, what kind of school did you go to, when did you finish, what did you like, what did you hate, did you like school? Dylan Blight, hit me with your best shot.
I finished school, everyone. It's hard to believe, right? I know, 1 + 1 = window. What? I can't remember, so I'll just like cover. So the reason you wanted to switch is because we jumped on the school for some reason. I started bagging out
private schools,
private school people, and saying how much I hate people. How much when I went to high school, anyone who went to a private school, like there was a one down the road, like a 10-minute walk down the road or whatever, and everyone at my school hated everyone at that private school, and we would call them names if we saw them on the street. If you like, they'd walk on opposite sides of the roads, like stuff like that. You know, this was like
West Side Story.
This is basically. This is like a thing, and so obviously I went to a public school, and as far as I'm concerned, the private school system's stupid. But I suppose the thing about going to a public school is, depending where you go, maybe you have some funnier stories that you tell the people who went to fancy schools or something, and they're like, Dylan, you sound like you went to a bit of a rough school. At which point I was like, no, you don't even, like my school that I went to, my high school, was pretty fine. Like it wasn't even one of the rough schools. Like if we played like sport or something, you'd have to travel around to other schools at the same time, and even would pull into other schools. Like there's like 2 other schools that if we pulled in, it would be like, someone's gonna fucking stab you here, because like people would get stabbed there. Like it's not even a joke. Like people had got stabbed at school.
Good to know.
So I think my school's all right. My schooling experience was an interesting one. I don't know, like what particular
did you like
story?
School?
I don't even.
Let's hold on. First thing, let's go around the table. Public or private? Ash,
Private.
Jono,
Piece of shit.
Thomas,
Piece of shit.
Public.
Yeah.
and I'm also public. So I believe Nick was public.
Yeah.
No, he was private. I'm pretty
Nick
sure.
was private.
Catholic, he said.
Yeah,
Piece
so
of shit.
we've got a good mix of
That's hard.
public.
I think
and
public schools
and
would
private.
win in that fight between out of the 6 of us.
What's that? Sorry.
I said I think the public school would win, and the six of us if it were 3v3.
No, Nick would take you all out. So
Yeah, no, I think if it was a
Nick
fist,
would take us
yeah.
all out,
If
and me
we
and
had
John
to
would stand to the side.
Fight to the death. If we had to fight to the death, it was like Anchorman, and we're all like in the car park, and someone's got a grenade and a fucking harpoon. I think the public school would definitely take the chocolates, but that's just me being biased, probably.
Oh, that's not a surprise. Jack being biased.
I fucking hated school. I don't know about you guys, but
Really?
people used to always say like when you're coming up to the end of like year 12 or whatever, and
Best years in your life.
not even that, but they're just like, oh, you'll miss it when you're out of school. You know, oh, you'll wish you could go back to school and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, when you're out in the world working or whatever, you're going to, like, when I left, I was like, no fucking way. And then I got out of school, I was like, thank God I'm done with that fucking place. I fucking hated school. It was just shit. Like,
Why?
I don't know. I just didn't like it. It was just boring. Like, you go, like, yeah, you get to hang out with your friends, but, like, all of my, like, best mates went to different schools. So, like, I had good friends at high school, but there's only probably two people that I actually went to school with that I still, like, am in contact with. And one of them I wasn't even really friends with at school. We was not until, like, the end of year 12, we weren't even really friends. We actually hated each other. Now we're quite close. But, so I don't know, I just didn't like it. Dickheads everywhere. Fucking teachers mostly were fine.
Public school.
Yeah, maybe, who knows? But like, but we had this a similar kind of thing to you, Dylan, where we had like the rivalries between. We had three main high schools in our area. There was Padua, which was the part like the private school, the Catholic school, and then we had the Dramana, which was like the druggy school, and I went to Rosebud, and we were like the sort of in the middle, kind of like nothing really exciting happened except when the tree broke and fell on the girls and the teachers.
What?
The
What?
teachers,
Okay,
well, we had
expand
like
on that story.
Sounds like a
So-
story that can't just be glossed over.
there was like we had this like massive. Well, you have lots of trees around schools and stuff like that. It was like a massive gum tree. And kids would sit under the gum tree or whatever at lunchtime. That was sort of their place
Would
to hang out.
kookaburras sit in it too?
No, I don't think we had many kookaburras around our school. And it was like a mini tornado just come out of nowhere, like swept through the school and like snapped this massive gum tree in half and like landed on these two girls and like fucked them up pretty badly. Like they were okay. They obviously didn't die or anything like that, but I remember just for years it was always like they were always like having to leave class and missing days because their backs and stuff were all stuffed up, and it was this whole big thing. It was pretty scary. Like everyone was sort of freaking out, and it was like a big tree fucking fell on these girls. It was fucked up. But other than that, it was pretty like it was just shit. I don't know. The school was just sucky. I much prefer to be like in the real world working and doing adult shit.
Really?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I have nearly nothing but positive for my last 2 years at school. The first 2 years kind of sucked, and then the last few years.
It was only 4 years for you, yeah?
Yeah. This is.
You need to differentiate that.
We need to point out, yes, that years went to year 12. We finished school at year 10. and
Shut
then
the
you'd go
front
to
door.
College.
I like how
Yeah.
school is just high school in this as well. Maybe people should know that you didn't complete 4 years of schooling between age 5 and 9 and then you left. 'Cause
Hold on. So in Tasmania, you only go to year 10.
Uh-huh.
Well, fuck. There's your issue.
I know, right? I keep trying to tell you.
So what happens after year 10? You just go out into the world. You're a 16-year-old, and you're just like, off you go.
You can. Or you can go to the next part of school.
Oh, so there's like a second. Okay. So fill me in on that.
Yeah.
How does that work?
Well, you go to college, which is year 11, 12.
Okay.
And then
And then you can go to uni from there.
then you can go to uni.
Okay.
It's kind of like the American system where they have junior high. And
Yeah.
all that crap.
Okay. That seems unnecessary,
That seems
but
like
I
an
can
unnecessary,
sort of
yeah.
comprehend it.
It's meant to prepare people for university.
Oh. Yeah,
They
maybe.
do it in Mildura for some reason.
Yeah, that's
Hey.
fair enough.
I got kicked out of college.
So in what year? 11 or 12?
11.
Okay.
I did like 3/4 of it and then got kicked out.
What'd you get kicked out for? Being a cunt?
Non-attendance.
Non-attendance.
So you didn't do 3/4 of it?
He did 3/4 of the half that he did.
More like a half.
I showed up to the classes I liked. Which is sad because you're supposed to pick ones you like, I suppose.
So
was it just that you didn't value it, or you didn't
Alright,
see
so-
any need
so-
for it, or you just got
Basically-
caught up
Busy
in-
with other
So-
stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I was on drugs a lot of the time, but
that'll do it.
I was smoking a lot of pot. Like my creative writing class, which is the one I did. I got into like an argument with the teacher. So I was like, because he kept making us write like specific things. Like it was like very, very specific to the point that would annoy me. It wasn't just like, hey, based on this picture, write a story about this guy's story. It's like, you've got to include this, like a list of like 10 things. I'd be like, holy fuck, dude. All our stories are basically the same because you're giving us so much like
leeway.
requirements. Yeah, for it. And I was like, so when do I actually just get to like have a bit more, when do we get a bit more freedom with this class? Because I'm kind of getting annoyed with everyone writing the same thing. It's becoming boring to me. He's like, oh, end of year test type thing. I'm like, right, this is not really interested anymore. I spat it with my radio class for some reason as well. I did do a radio. I was doing radio.
Shout out to radio.
What else was I doing? I can't even. Photography was just kind of a. Photography was fine but most of the time I'd end up just fucking around taking my own pictures that weren't relevant to the ones I was supposed to take. So they'd be like, go out for an hour, take pictures of this certain stuff, and I'd come back
Dick
and I'd be
pics.
like, this is really cool. Look at this picture. And they'd be like, it looks cool, Dylan, but it's not what we asked you to take. And I'm like, yeah, well, fuck you.
That's funny. That reminds me of it was like, I think it was like my first day of school ever, like in like grade 1 or kinder or whatever it was, and it was, here's the sheet of paper, and it was like color in the frog green or something, and I colored mine in black, and I'm like, I'm being creative. I'm like, I'm doing like, I'm taking the initiative. I'm thinking outside the square.
Into the man.
Yeah, is what I'm thinking. I'm like, I'm and I showed the teacher, and I was really happy. I'm like, look, I didn't color it in green. I colored it in black. Like I'm being, I thought I was doing something really good, and she was like, no, that's wrong. It says colored in green. And went off at me. I'm like, well, fuck. Well, that was like the first. I'll never forget that. It was like my first day.
This is an Algerian tree frog. It is meant to be black.
This is actually like one of my legit problems with schooling system is because when I look back at myself, I was obviously struggling with, like I wasn't purposely trying to argue with people. It's just like I wasn't like walking out of the room being like, oh, I'll purposely not take the picture of the thing they asked for. My mind just wouldn't. It's just like, I'm just going to do this other thing. But for some reason, the schooling system isn't set up to like go, well, this guy's like, his mind's obviously on a completely different wavelength to the rest of us. How about we like try and work with that? Instead, they just like, no, down fund. Like you're doing it wrong and you get told you're doing it. So if I'm going around doing all my classes, I'm trying to do at least something. Like I'm not trying not to do anything, which was my thing. Because I had the same problem in high school. It's like I hated nearly all the classes, but like I loved English, and I'm like I was like I'll do every single English class you can do, and the teachers tried to tell me I couldn't do it. They're like, nah, Dylan, you can't do all of the English classes. That's too much. You got to do some other stuff. And I'm like, yeah, but I fucking hate maths. I hate this. I'm like, just let me do the classes that like I actually want to like put effort into. And I had to go in for like a 1 hour meeting with like the vice principal for them allow me to do all the English classes in my last 2 years, because they're like, this isn't, you're normally not allowed to do this, Dylan. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, just work around this. Like, this is the thing that annoys me most about school. It's so like
Regiment
within lines. There's
rigid.
rules. There's things. It's just like
Rigid.
Look, that may work for like the majority of people. Obviously, I'm not normal. So how about you just open up a bit of stuff? Because it's like all through high school, it's like, oh, maths. Sure, I hated maths. My brain could not tick on and pay any attention to maths, even if I tried. Like, I'd just zone the fuck out. And I had a good relationship with my math, the one math class I had to do, because it'd be like, okay, I just told the teacher, I'm just going to sit in the back of the room playing on a PSP. He's like, all right, Dylan, you can do that if you want, but because I wasn't annoying anyone, so he didn't have a big problem with me, because there were people in the class like yelling, shouting, and like throwing stuff around the room. And I'm like, I'm just going to sit at the back of the classroom. I'm going to have my headphones in. I'm going to play on my PSP, and then when tests come around, if I start failing them, you can tell me off. And the teacher was like, all right, Dylan. And then for the entire year, I got at least passing marks in all of my maths tests without actually doing any of the daily classwork. So I just played PSP all year, passed all my tests, went cool, got like a B minus or, you know, like a, whatever,
Pass
like
mark,
passing
yeah.
thing is. Yeah, but he worked. I know that's maybe not what you should, like the way school should work.
Yeah,
but at
probably
least
not.
like, I was just like, it's better than like me sitting at the back because that's what I mean. There was people in the class at the same time, like chucking stuff around and just, they weren't doing the work either. They were failing the work also, but they were being real assholes. I don't know.
Yeah, I think that's why it's important to have good teachers, because that guy, maybe he did the right thing, maybe he didn't, but he saw some flexibility and the others didn't, I guess. Like I had a really great school experience, and like still have things to this day that I learnt at school that I'm really grateful for, and really grateful for the environment that my school had as a small school. And you know, there really wasn't any bullying that I experienced. Like, definitely no physical bullying. There might have been some stuff like more sinister mental head games going on that I didn't know about. But I guess, like, I had a teacher who literally read our, like, To Kill a Mockingbird, one of the year 9 textbooks, reading books. She read the whole thing onto a cassette tape for some of the students who struggled with reading, and they could just listen to that. This is before audiobooks existed, I suppose. And, like, that's gone above and beyond for your students, I think. And there needs to be more teachers who take that approach. And that's who the good ones are these days, too, I think.
No, it's definitely, and I think that's a big problem is that the like, I guess the talent pool or whatever you want to call it of teachers is so, like, teaching isn't really like a desirable, as far as I can sort of tell. It doesn't seem to be like it's, you know, heaps of people clamoring to become teachers because they get paid shit and they have to deal with shithead kids, and there's not a lot of career progression. It's sort of like teacher and then I guess you're the principal, or like, you know, and there's only one principal in the whole, like, so I don't know. And it seems as though the quality of teaching is not great across the board in our country. It's probably the same for most countries, I would assume. But we didn't have great teachers. I had some good teachers, but I didn't have anyone that was like inspiring me. Like I was coming to class and they were, you know, like we had teachers that were just pushovers for most of the part, and you could just sort of fuck around and do whatever you wanted, and they wouldn't really like, you know, some would try and discipline you, but some would, like I had a teacher, Mr. Tui, God bless him, he was great, but like I could literally call him a cunt and he would be like not okay with it, but wouldn't like discipline me or anything like that. He was great, but he wasn't a good teacher. Like he's a nice guy, but there was no authority. There was no like, I didn't want to learn. Like these guys didn't like I went to school.
Well, that's
and
kind of the issue, isn't it?
Well,
You
no,
didn't
no,
wanna
but
learn.
no, but like no. So that's yeah, probably picked the wrong word. But like I would go to school, right, and I would learn, and I would do what I needed to do, and I would do my homework and all that stuff. But I was never like going there being like, oh, I can't wait to get to class and do this, and you know these teachers are like going the extra mile and that kind of like Jono seemed like he loved it. Like the teachers were great. They were fucking recording audio books for their fucking students. I don't even know. Like I couldn't think of anything similar to that I experienced in my school journey. And I got to like I worked hard through school, and like I got to the end of year 12, and I remember like getting to like my first exam, and I was just so over the whole year. I was just like, I don't even care. I'm not even gonna, and I did not like all of my exams. I didn't even try. So the stupid thing to do, obviously, because like, why the fuck would you do that, you dickhead? In hindsight, obviously, but I remember getting there and being like, I don't even care. I literally don't care. The thing I'm going to do, I don't need any to score for for what I'm going to study after school, after high school. So I'm just gonna I don't care. I just want to get it done and over with, and then be done and be out of here.
Yeah, I think a lot of people have that attitude.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's not a good attitude to have.
No.
I think I did, like, because I knew from an early age, I thought I knew that I wanted to be an architect. So I did graphics at school and everything else that sort of semi-supported that getting into uni basically to do that, and didn't give a fuck about practically anything else, or how well I passed, provided I did the stuff that I needed to do, which in hindsight isn't fantastic. And also my last year of school, I skipped out on graphics a lot, which was sort of key to that architecture stuff. To go and play Smash at a friend's house. I had these
Seems like the
two
wise
good
decision.
friends. Two good friends through school that both had a free period when I had graphics. And it was very hard to not go and play video games with them instead of going to the class that probably in hindsight you think that you're already good enough for. You already know this shit and you're going to go do this at university. So what's the point in hanging around here when I know that in a year's time I'm going to be at university learning this stuff anyway?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
Spot
which
on.
is weird.
What about you, Ashley? Did you like school? Did you hate school?
Yeah, I didn't mind school. I mean, I think I had a lot of friends at school. It was a really small class. I think it was like 28 people in the class, like for the year level. It was
Wow.
so
Jesus.
yeah, that's pretty.
Were you
small.
like in like
Yeah.
a rural?
No, it was just like a private.
I can beat that.
School, so
We
Yeah.
had 18
18.
Yeah, right.
in year 12.
Fuck.
Christ,
No wonder
man,
you
that's like
no wonder you
100.
fucking teachers of. No wonder you fucking teachers of recording audiobooks have only got fucking 3 students. Jesus Christ. We had like, we had like
Personalised
350.
versions of audiobooks.
I was going to say, I had like probably 200 and 250 maybe or
Yeah,
something like that.
there you go.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the advantages
That's
of
the
the small
differences.
school is your teachers can give you more attention, more one-on-one time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They all know you. They all know what you're good at, what you struggle with.
Yeah.
They'll stay behind and work on stuff with you. Like, I actually was literally friends with a lot of my teachers or family friends because they were at the same church as my family. So, you know, I grew up, literally, I went to a prep to year 12 school, so I literally grew up with these teachers around me. A lot of them anyway. Sorry, go back, Ash.
No, I think pretty much hit my point. Yeah, just having that same group of people there for like 5 years was pretty special, I guess. In hindsight, in hindsight, I think school was great because you'd see your friends every day and you'd have this set schedule and you had no other worries other than doing school. But
Well,
probably rose-tinted glasses a bit there.
homework,
definitely.
but who actually ever did homework?
Not till the last minute, anyway.
Yeah, not to know. I used to try and do mine
I think-
at school, and then I didn't have to do it at home.
Yeah, I think I managed
Yeah.
to get away with basically never doing any homework. And I'm not quite sure how I did it.
Yeah,
Like,
honestly.
I distinctly remember after being like 13 or 14, just having a paper run and watching TV and never doing any homework.
Yep.
I don't know if that's really true or you just kind of like to remember the good things.
No,
but-
I can concur with that. I used to so year 7 for me, not nearly failed, but I got a really bad like report. And Dad would like put the fear of God into me after I finished year 7. He's like, you need to make sure you're fucking like your grades are better and this, that, and the other, and you know, like you're gonna be in deep shit if you don't improve, all this stuff, blah blah blah. And so like I was like, all right, I need to like year 8. I'm like, I need to like be better because Dad was scary. I didn't want to get my ass kicked.
So how bad was your end of year?
Oh,
thing?
it wasn't
like
terrible. It was just
not terrible.
It was
but-
like, they were not good. Like they were not good grades, and all of my report like comments were, Jack shows a lot of potential but needs to stop distracting people in class. Jack shows a lot of potential but needs to stop distracting everyone in class. Jack needs to concentrate better in class. Jack needs to stop being annoying, like, you know, Jack thinks he's the class
to stop
clown,
saying
etc.,
cunt.
etc. So I was just that kid who was not able to like concentrate for too long and would just want to fuck around and you know.
I like how it's Jack thinks he's the class clown. We've already got that. What Jack doesn't realise.
That's already been allocated.
Yeah, that role has been filled. And so like year 8, I was like, all right, I need to try really hard. And I busted my ass for like the first few months. And I was like, there's got to be like an easier way to do this. And so I had the English teacher I spoke about earlier, Mr. Tui. We had like a, I can't remember what it was called, but basically we had like, you had like to do like there was this book you had to go through and there was all like English word exercises or whatever you'd have to do every week. And what I did was I wrote out the same one, like 50. So I spent like one afternoon just writing out, like doing the exact same and just changing like the first two of every one. And so like I did like my entire semester's homework, but just copy the exact same thing because he never used to read the whole thing. He would just be like, oh yeah, check
my
the first
God.
sentence that I'd started it, tick it off, no worries. Fucking sweet. Like did not actually
Was you
do
the
work.
guy who stole like copied other people's work, friends?
No,
work or
never.
something
No, I
like
only
that?
ever did my own work. But I just used to scheme my way out of it, and like I'd get detention for being a dickhead in class, and you know, at lunchtime I'd have to go and write lines. It's like you have 100 lines, you know, I will not be disruptive in class, and I would do like the first 10, and it'd be like, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4, number them, and it'd be like,
What did you get detention? Like, can you remember like specific?
just being disruptive. I think I can't even remember like specific things.
What's that mean though? Like,
Fucking around in
are you
class,
yelling at people,
talking, playing, like mucking around, not listening, like talk back to the
Throwing
teacher,
crap.
throwing stuff, mucking around with a friend, like, you know, just,
throwing stuff.
you know, fucking throw a bit of paper across the room, throw a pen at someone,
Yeah,
swore,
you-
like,
After everything I've said about like, you're probably the person I hated in school.
yeah, probably, yeah, I would have, I was, yeah, I probably was. But
Yeah, you sound pretty annoying.
I got,
He does, doesn't
but
he?
I used to do the,
Is it basically like Drunk Jack?
similar, yeah, it's very similar. But I would like just get like with the lines, and I'd be writing the lines. I'd get to like 11, and I'd skip to like 14, and I'd do that all the way through, and I'd like hand the lines into the. So I scheme my way through high school without doing a lot of work, except for year 12, where I'm like, all right, I want to try hard, and I got to the exams. I was like, I can't be bothered anymore.
I scheme my way out of things too sometimes, but I'd still do some. So a good example, and this makes a lot of sense, 'cause if obviously knowing me today, not lots change. Dylan, you have to do an essay on this certain thing. I'm like, hey, essay sounds cool and all, but what if I made a fake documentary where we talk to people and it's still doing the essay, but it's like a 10-minute fake documentary where we talk about the thing that we're supposed to be doing an essay about. Sounds great, teacher? Cool, I'm going to go do that. And sometimes teachers would often let me get away with that because they knew that's all I wanted to do. But I'm like, I don't want to write a normal essay. That's fucking boring. Let me go film it.
Clever.
Yeah, got him.
How many schools did everyone go to? How many different schools did we all attend?
I just had one from prep.
Is it? Are you counting like?
yeah,
from-
primary school, like
Oh,
yeah, the whole lot.
Like primary.
Yeah.
Okay, hold up.
Shout out anyone.
4,
Anyone that
Six.
doesn't have to count.
6.
Yeah.
Six.
Six, yeah. Six as well, Ashley.
Yep.
Yeah, Jono.
One.
So the whole way, you went to the same primary school as you did high school.
I did.
Yeah, he literally means he was 5. Met Mrs. Grundy, and then
Oh, what? Why'd you think?
no one was going to get the reference but you. Shh. And then he grew up with Mrs. Grundy till he was an older man, and
Nice young boy.
I'm
he was
confused.
a nice young. He was a very nice young boy.
I'm confused. Yeah, I'd 6 as well. Tom, how many did you? Okay, Tom, no worries.
You
to
may
know.
have to repeat the question.
Are you
How
playing
many?
Peter?
How many schools did you go to?
How many schools did I go to?
Yeah.
Oh shit. So I had one like
You just zoning
high
out a little bit,
school,
just,
I
in
only
your
had
buddy?
the one.
Just in your own little world there, were you?
I was just contemplating everything that you were saying. Very deep.
Except for what he was
And then you
actually
forgot
saying.
it.
I'll take that as a compliment.
So, high schools I only had one.
Really?
Yeah. I so high school went year 9 through 13.
What
What about
Why
primary
is that-
school?
primary school?
What about primary school?
So primary school, I had one in England, one in Hokitika, one in Hawke's Bay, one in Hamilton, and then an intermediate school as well. So 4 primary schools, 1 intermediate, 1 high
So
school.
5. Oh, so 6.
6. Yeah, 6.
6 as well. 6 is the
There you
number.
go.
How is
Look
6?
at us go.
Yeah, that's weird.
3 of us with 6 schools.
4 of us.
Oh, wow.
4.
Were you
Four.
kicked out of a
Oh.
number of them, Dylan? Or?
No. I was only kicked out of 1.
Okay.
I only went to one high school. I went to the same high school, but I bounced around a lot as a kid. We travelled around a lot, so I went to a heap of different primary schools. I skipped I forgot about that. I skipped an entire year of primary school as well. I didn't do grade 3. Just skip.
Smarty
let's
pants.
let's
skipped
let's I want to swing this downwards to get, because obviously I think like listening to Jack talk, I'm like, yeah, like talking about high school, I'm like, yeah, that sounds like Jack. And you know, I want to get an idea of primary school, like era kind of stuff. So in primary school, Jack, were you still the same? Were you still the same sort of little shit running around throwing Play-Doh across the room?
No, I was.
You got my blast
Girls'
Louis!
hair.
I was better. I was definitely a really. I was a really good kid at primary school. Actually, like teachers loved me.
It's only once he found the cigarettes.
I was well
and
behaved.
the alcohol.
I'm not sure what it was about high school that turned me into a little fucker. I think it was maybe the group of kids. But like primary school, I was a good kid in
It's a
primary
different
school.
structure as well. The teacher's not there. You don't have the same teacher.
Yeah, exactly
every
right.
day.
Yeah, but like I really liked you know, I was well liked by the teachers. I also got bullied a lot in primary school, so that's probably like I was maybe a little bit
What for?
being a little fat cunt.
There's always one.
Fair enough then.
So I'd like a lot of like obviously self-esteem issues, and I was a bit shyer in primary school. And then
Don't worry, I had braces.
oh yeah,
So I got the railroad tracks,
Yeah.
the all that sort of shit.
yeah.
I had
That was my
braces, but
primary
never
school.
got any of that kind of crap. Thankfully,
Oh,
Yeah.
you
Tasmania.
must,
like
you must have
yeah.
taken it for me. Thanks, still.
no worries.
But yeah, no, I got like primary school. I was like a good kid, and I liked primary school, and I was like one of the good students. But I used to get picked on a lot, and I only like towards the end of like grade 6, which is like the last year of primary school, I started like sticking up for myself, like punching kids in the face if they fuck with me, and
How did that go down?
it worked out well because people stopped fucking with me when I started punching them in the head. It was good.
So you went
Life
from
lesson.
So you're
bullied
endorsing
to
violence.
bully.
Sorry, say again, Ashley.
You're endorsing violence? Is
No,
what you're
I'm
saying?
endorsing.
So, William, when you're having trouble in school...
He's endorsed violence like a billion times. In his fucking
No,
podcast
I'm
show.
in-
They talk shit.
I'm endorsing
Slap
sticking
'em.
up for yourself.
with violence.
If you have to, yeah. Fuck yeah. If someone's fucking with you and you can't like get them to stop, sometimes you've got to punch a motherfucker in the head.
Want to hear my classic primary school?
Fuck him up, Al.
Fuck him up, Alf.
This sums up a relationship I had with one of my like friends that went through the high school with me, and sums up perfectly the kind of relationship we had. So I'm like over off one side of the oval. This is probably like grade 6, I think. I'm off to one side of the oval. I'm playing like soccer or some bullshit, I think. And I look over to my left, and here he is, surrounded by like 5 dudes, and they're like choke holding him up against the back of the wall. It's like down the very back of the oval where it dips down, so the teachers can't really see. It's like one of those fucked up areas where it's like if you don't go down there because if someone wants to
That's
fight
out of
you,
bounds down
basically,
there. Don't go to the out of bounds
you're,
area.
you're going to get fucked up. No one's going to be able to see it. So I have one of those moments where it's like, fuck, like I could just ignore it. I never saw it, which means I didn't have to do anything, right? But then guilty conscience probably. So I'm like, oh fuck. So I like run over there and I like fucking like punch 2 dudes left, right, punch the dude that's holding him in the face. I go, run. I can't remember exactly how it went, but it was like, run, or something like that. We begin to go running. He gets away. Suddenly I get chokehold up against the wall and gets punched in the face. I remember him looking back.
He was like, catch you, cunt.
I remember him looking at me and then just going 180, runs off. I'm like, you fucking piece of shit.
It's just like, thank you.
The part that made the story the worst is so after the bullies finish the beat down on me, it's like I go to the school office. I'm like, can I have an ice pack? Because I got a black eye. I then walk to class. Teacher's like, why are you late? And I'm like, oh, fucking, like I tell the story. I'm like, they were picking on him and like, blah, blah. So like, I get a detention for being late to class.
No.
I was like, this day cannot get any worse. But yeah, so public Tasmanian schools, they still fight when they're yet that young.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's all in the family, so...
Yeah.
Is it?
So then,
You know that I was trying to think of something that like I just remembered something from primary school like summing up how I thought about school. Like, I want to do this work, but I don't want to do this work. Like this whole weird mentality I've always had, right? And I just remembered I had very similar shit happened in primary school, actually, where the teacher would be like, would have the book we have to read, like for an hour or whatever, like every second day or something like that. Would be like, oh, it's reading time. And the whole class is reading through this book. The problem I had is like I found most of the books boring, or I'd speed read them and be done with them. So I set up a deal with the teacher where I was like, I'm done with this. Like, I'm done. This book's shit. I don't like it. Whatever. And I was like, I'll tell you what. I had this weird deal with the teacher where I read the book ahead of the class. And I'd read like 2-3 books ahead, and then I suggested the book that the class read next.
Right.
If that makes sense. So I'd finish a book, and
Sutra.
when they finished, I would be like, no, because I just
That
like
got
read random
weird
books.
real quick.
These books are from the school library, you fucks.
What kind of fucked up school library do you have?
It doesn't have comes. I didn't say that.
Pretty sure that was you, Dylan.
But it's just like another. I just remembered that. I'm like, that's just another example of me being like, I don't like the
Manipulating
way
the
this is
teachers.
working. Yeah, like I'm just like go up to the teacher, I'm like, hey, how about we make a deal because, like, I don't.
You're
want to
bad at
not-
your job and not.
I'm like, I
catering
don't
me.
want to not read, but this is not fulfilling me at all doing this. So how about I read ahead because I'm a cool kid.
Oh god, that's the other
The
thing.
coolest kid. That actually reminded me of in Form 2, which must be Year 8. We had a particular project. Like, it was a choose-your-own project that you do, and over the course of a term, you spent like one afternoon a week or something working on whatever the fuck this project was. And some people made board games, and some people practiced fucking music or whatever. And I decided that I would do a book review. And I said that I would read 2 books in the Redwall series, if you know of it. Brian Jakes or whatever. Basically,
Silence is deafening.
okay, that's fine. You can look it up. They're good books, but basically, all I did was piss around this one afternoon a week, checking out everybody else's projects. Didn't do my project, and then had nothing to hand in. So convinced the teacher that I had handed in my work, I had left it on her desk,
She
and
lost
she
it.
must have misplaced it. Yeah, or that somebody had come and pinched it. So I read like half of this book, and I was supposed to read 2 or maybe even 3 of them. Didn't even start writing like a book report review type thing for these books. Yeah, and it was just like, yeah, no, I definitely put those on your desk. So
That's
I don't know what's happened to them.
That
but
is fantastic.
I've done the work, so you're not getting shit out of me, kind of thing. Yeah, worth the treat.
That's brilliant. I somehow made it through all of high school without reading any of the books that were like given to us. So like, read this over summer. Like, this is,
How?
hey,
They would have you do, like at my school. You had to like write an essay
Yep,
on the book.
absolutely,
usually, or, like,
yep.
something.
Yeah, but they tell you the key things.
Yeah, and you have
they tell
discussions
the
about
quotes
it in
that you
class.
need to know, and then so you don't need to read the fucking book.
Yep,
I did
fucking
that.
nailed it. Hey Tom,
Yep.
virtual high five.
I sometimes stuff happens, and I'm like, I'm supposed to be like the biggest
Nerd.
dummy drop kip here. And then you'll be like, oh, and then I'm like, I loved reading books in primary school. I was reading ahead of the class.
You fucking
And
nerd.
then these 2 are like, high five, you fuck.
Work hard.
Down
Work
with
smart,
reading.
not hard, Dylan. Work smart, not hard.
Yeah, I remember it must have been 4th form or 5th form or something like this, and the teacher knew for a fact that I hadn't read the book. It was what is it? The Alley Chronicles, which is like
Okay.
follow up to Tomorrow When the War Began. And there's
Yep.
one
Oh, okay.
point, like there's a particular paragraph or something where she starts describing some dude's penis.
Yep.
Or something weird like that. And yeah, because the teacher knew that I hadn't read the book, she thought she'd like put me on the spot and make me read this section.
Yeah.
Probably starts with me not paying attention and pissing around and annoying her. So she thinks she'll catch me out with this. And everybody in the class starts giggling apart from me because I've got no fucking idea what's coming up. Just power through it.
That's so
and
good.
just like, yep, nope, I expected that. I can take that. And I definitely deserved it.
That's brilliant. We had
I
a,
can... yeah, go on.
in year 12 we had an our English teacher. She was good. She was a good teacher, really nice lady, but very easy to manipulate. And she used to love like like she would like if someone asked a question, she would spend like 45 minutes like explaining it. And so we would have like so we would have, like, I think we were reading through one of the books that we were reading, and it was, you would have like one class, it would like take it in turns. So one class was just reading, like she would read the book, and we would discuss the book in the class, and then the next one would be like we have to write an essay or whatever. We would keep writing an essay on the book. And what I used to do, like we all used to do it in the class, but like it would come to like the theory lesson, we would have to write, and we'd be like, she's like, okay, so we're gonna write, our essays on, this chapter or whatever of the book, and go, Miss, can you please explain that part to us? I didn't really understand it. And she would take the whole like 45 minutes class just like explaining that one bit, and we'd all just sit back and like, yep, your beauty, no writing for us. Fantastic. Absolutely nailed it. I also had... sorry, go on.
Did you have... did you have like a favourite subject at all? Did you just hate all subjects?
No, I didn't hate any. Like, I didn't really hate any. Like, so in year 12, I did multimedia, which was like, internet, like web browser, HTML stuff, and like multimedia, like Flash and stuff like that. And then I did sport and rec, which is like sports, but it was more about like coaching and running sports events and stuff like that, rather than actually just playing sport. And then I did English, maths, and business management. And so like the English, maths, and business management were boring. I only did maths because I was naturally just good at it. And
well, surely out of all that, I'm automatically like, oh, the business management class must have some impact to your life.
No, again, this goes back to my other thing. The teachers, he was just not a very good teacher. Like, he was a really nice guy, but we didn't learn anything because it was always like, I can't remember what his thing was, but he would always go off on like a tangent, and we'd talking about something else. We didn't, like, we got to the end. I remember getting to the end of that year, and as a class, we were like, did anyone fucking learn anything from this year? Then we're like, no. It was like irrelevant. Like, we had some really bad teachers. I had a teacher, and I don't know how she got away with it, but we spent the first, she was science, right? She was our science teacher. And we spent the first semester watching CSI, literally watching, like, she's like, this is the class. We watched like entire seasons of CSI. And then at the end we had to like do like a assignment on it, but it was just like write an essay on CSI. And then the next semester,
what the fuck?
And then the next semester, we watched the Matrix films.
I shit you not. That in my legal studies class, one of the girls convinced the teacher to show Alias because it related to legal studies somehow.
Yeah, there you go.
What the fuck is going on at these schools? Only time we ever got to watch a movie was like end of year, like the last 2 weeks before the end of year, or like right before it was like Easter break or something like that. It would be like, oh, it's the last class before a couple weeks holiday, so like instead of doing work, we'll just let you watch a movie. And I'd always suggest movies that would get turned down or everyone would vote against.
Yeah. We used to watch movies and stuff with like Kill a Mockingbird and whatever.
Yeah.
Like one year I was like, hey, how about, it was like grade 9 or 10 or something, I can't remember which one, but it's like, I want to watch, I put up the options of like Jackie Brown and like...
yeah, well, that's going to go through.
Like, something else.
Battle Royale.
Everyone like watched the trailers. Everyone watched the trailers and said they looked fucking boring as old tits. And then the rest of the class voted to watch the original Hitman movie, I believe is what we watched. Starring Timothy Oliphant, which is a complete turd of a film.
Absolute
Jackie
turd.
Brown is pretty boring though.
Fuck you, cunt.
Yeah. Fuck you.
Sorry, I didn't. That was
That was an emotional response.
that was an emotional response. I'm sorry. I apologize for my outburst.
Yeah. School. Great. Movies. Hitman.
I want to know what's everyone's favorite memory from their schooling journey. Jono, start with you. If you got one.
Come back to me. I'm thinking.
Thomas Marshall. I'll tell you what. I'll go with mine to give everyone a chance to.
Good idea. Good idea.
Give everyone
The way I am here and I am actually thinking this time. As
no, that's good. I'll go with mine. Give everyone a chance to. So it's nothing really great, but like we used to. There was a tradition at our school that we would play. It was like the last day of the year for year 12s, like our very last day. we would play a game of Gaelic football against the year 11s.
What is that?
So it was what's Gaelic? It's like
Gaelic?
it's like
football?
AFL with
It's
a
like
round ball,
AFL.
basically. But it's full
And
like
it's
You kick a
different-
soccer. You
different
kick a
goal
soccer ball.
posts too.
yeah,
It's the
With a
Irish
soccer
version.
ball.
yeah, pretty much.
And
Yeah.
instead
They
of
play
having,
with shillelaghs.
instead
But it was
of,
like
instead of
Oh.
four posts,
the,
Ask Amy Gills. She'll explain
the
it.
thing.
instead
The
of
thing
four
that
posts, you've got like
it doesn't
a
matter, Tom.
rugby
It's not.
post.
It's not important to
does.
the story.
It does. And
Man's
your high points are
Gurus
getting
this
it
week.
inside
Your Gurus
the
are Jack
underneath.
Cruz, Dylan
It is
Blight,
not
Tom
relevant to
Sutton,
the
John
story.
O'Packer.
Anyway, we played a game
People ask the question.
every
You gotta
year.
give them the information that they want.
No, that's good. Yeah, you're doing a great job. I'm very proud of you.
So every year you play Gaelic football,
We would play Gaelic
which is the one with rugby posts.
Yeah. So
essentially.
we would, but the thing about the game of Gaelic football is that it was like what's that movie?
like AFL but with a round ball.
No, yeah, fuckwit. It was like deathmatch Gaelic football. So it was like full on like elbows, hard tackles, shirt fronts, big bumps. It was a free for all. And the thing I loved about it was that it
Sexy.
happened every year, and the teachers were just like, they would just like take a step back and they would all watch and just watch us absolutely pole. And people would get hurt. Like one kid broke his collarbone one year. Another kid got like nearly lost his eye or something. Like it was always fucking free for all. But I like that was like my favorite. So we obviously played in the year 11 year against the year 12s, and like you get fucking smashed. And then the next year, like that was probably my favorite memory of high school, just playing that game of football on like the last day of school and like hammering kids and getting like hammered into the ground. It was just a great like end cap to school. So that's my favorite school memory.
I thought of
figured
it.
one.
Sorry, go.
Oh, go on, Johnny.
I thought of it. Your story reminded me of my sports stories in school. Being a small school, we always got absolutely smashed at every inter-school sport.
Yeah, I'm not
but we
surprised.
still, you get out of class and it's good fun. You play baseball for a day, or you play soccer or hockey. We were actually quite good at hockey, but I was obviously really into basketball, and we would play every lunchtime. It was pretty much me, a couple mates, and then the year level above me, because they were into basketball as well. And so most of my actual friends didn't play, but I would play with these guys at lunchtime, and we got to go and play against some of the other schools. There was only like 6 high schools in Warrnambool, and we actually managed to beat like the biggest school in Warrnambool somehow, and that was probably
Oh.
one of the highlights. It was like a Mighty Ducks kind of moment, and it wasn't like we won the grand final. We won one game, and I think I scored like
So more like
15 or
Little
something.
Giants.
Yeah. But I think it was in year 10 or 11 or something, so it was later in school. Yeah.
Cool.
That was awesome.
Awesome. Ash?
Yeah. Did you guys ever go on school camps?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So probably, I think maybe year 12 we did a study tour. So we went down to Canberra and Sydney and down to the snow. So that's probably my favorite memory. Like those like 2 weeks, just hanging out with everybody,
Cool.
seeing
That
the
sounds
sights,
cool.
doing stuff.
We went to Tassie in year 11.
That sounds
Oh,
horrible.
How was it?
It was good. Yeah, had heaps of fun.
Yeah, there you go.
I like Tassie. Most
Not that
people,
bad.
anyone who's been to Tassie usually says good things about it.
You just don't want to stay there.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful place with a lot of bogans.
Don't get too close to the locals.
Yeah, that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah. Don't feed them. Just kidding.
Thomas?
Feed Dylan.
Yeah, so it's a school related story, although it didn't actually happen during school hours. So at the end
Doesn't
of
count.
Sex. It's sex. It's the first time we fucked. It's sex.
it's not.
I changed
I'm
my
not gonna-
answer. That's mine. That's mine.
When Tom
I won't
fucked.
share that story. So at the end of 7th form or year 13, whatever the last year, we had a 7th form dinner on the Thursday night. It was supposed to be, well, it was an alcohol-free event, but everybody drank before going and then all go back out and back to town, hit the bars on Thursday night. Those of us that were 18 already. And town must have closed at 12 o'clock or 1 o'clock or something like that. And And we thought it was a fantastic idea to go to the supermarket, get a slab, as you would call it, of beers, and go find somebody's house to drink at.
Nice.
I don't know how, but somewhere along the lines, it was decided that actually it'd be a great idea for us, because we had school the next day, to go drink the beers in the 7th form common room, for which I had a key. And just sleep in the common room for the night, and then, oh look, we're at school already for the following day. This is handy.
This is great already.
We got incredibly close. To
Eddie
the
Murphy
point,
meme.
Like I was almost key in the door of the common room.
Oh god.
When like security like came around and sort of said, what the fuck are you guys up to? Why are you on the school property? Because there'd been like, there isn't usually security, but there'd been an issue with like a neighbouring property with uni students boozing and throwing bottles on the field and stuff like that.
Right, okay.
So we basically got shuffled along by them, but because I was a bit boozed, I decided to tell him, the security guard, gave him my name, gave him my phone number. No, don't worry about it. This is fine. I've got a key. No sweat. But he sent us on our way anyway. And then the following day, particularly hungover, I get pulled into the principal's office like, Thomas, so I've had this story shared with me about last night, blah, blah, blah. What happened? What can you tell me? Like, this didn't happen, did it? Because if it did, you could get expelled for this, the last week of school. So that's like a case of don't sit your exams, life is ruined kind of shit.
Jesus.
And I fessed up to it. I was just like, yep, we did that. We were drunk. It was a terrible idea. I'm very sorry, and I'm happy to take the consequences. Christ knows why I said that. And the principal was just like, wow, I really appreciate your honesty.
That's why you said
You're
it.
free to go.
That's fine. You go back to class. See you later. Just dodge.
And that's your
like
happiest memory.
Nailed it.
the biggest bullet. It wasn't my happiest memory, but it was a fun story. We had a good time while we were at it. Yeah, and I managed to avoid being expelled and screwing up practically my entire life, which was good.
Good job. Solid effort.
That would have been a good feeling, walking away from the principal.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, what did I say? Like, I think we shook hands or something at the end, and I said, "Thanks, Kelvin," which was his first name.
He's like, all right, you're expelled.
Not Mr. Whiting. I
Oh,
was just like,
jeez.
thank you, Kelvin. No, I appreciate that. And
He's
I just,
no, it's Mr. Smith.
You just held your hand a little longer.
just go back to class. Get the fuck out of here.
Fuck off now.
I'm happy that school is finished next week. Like,
That's brilliant.
yeah.
Thanks, Calvin. Oh,
Did-
you didn't do that.
Oh, jeez.
D Blizzle.
Deep Blizzle.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a
God.
funny one.
That's-
I can't think of a specific like thing, so I'm just gonna lock in probably just basically all of year 10.
Yeah.
Because I think all of my year 10, like the majority of it, I enjoyed. Great time. Still probably one of the best years of my life.
Solid
so.
story. Solid story.
Oh, no. There's more, you fuckwit. Because I think it, like between everything else, mostly that was the time when most of the time I was running around my school filming little short films and skits and stuff like that, and then on the weekends I was off making skate videos
Homemade
and shit
bongs.
like this. Like I don't think I was not smoking weed just yet. I wasn't even smoking cigarettes. No, I just when I look back on it, I just remember year 10 as a very like a time in my life where I just between school, I was enjoying my time at school because most of the stuff I was doing, I'd con into making it into a productive, creative process or something like that. That's what I mean, like about how about I make it a video essay? Like I think somewhere towards the end of grade 9 or like grade 10, especially when I hit it off, where I was like, this kind of stuff's all basically what I love doing, all this sort of stuff. So and that's basically what I ran around doing most of year 10. Like at school, I was always making stuff. On the weekends, I was always making stuff. Spare time, editing stuff. Great time. I was always doing something productive.
Excellent. Very good. Did anyone do like a dead ball? Did anyone do their dead ball? I've got a funny story about my dead ball.
I
Is
don't
it what
understand
you
the
wore to it?
question.
Because that was quite
Formal?
funny.
Is that what you're talking
No,
about?
no, like like where you dance and that, like your debutante ball, where you go and everyone dances
No.
the same dances. No one ever did that.
No, we're not high class like you, Jack.
We were definitely
We had a
not high class.
formal, but not the deb.
So we had
yeah.
a formal in year 10, which is just like you go there, everyone wears a suit and you dance and whatever. Like it's like a party basically. But
I did not wear a suit.
we had a debutante ball, which is basically you go to you pick your partner, you go, or like your partner picks you, or if you're one of the loser kids, you don't get a partner. No one wants to dance with you.
wrong with that.
But no, absolutely not.
Losers.
Not defined by being in a partnership. I know.
But you would go to like practice like once a week, and like practice the dances and stuff. And there was like proper like dance routines and stuff that you would do, like proper like traditional like it was just this weird thing. I'm not sure. I thought this was the thing that everyone did. So we'd do that.
What, like a full-on dance ball? Proper,
Yeah, like a
you
proper
stand across
ball,
the
yeah.
opposite room
You
from
come
the
out, they
ladies,
announce
and
you.
The guy points at her. They walk over. You do a little bow. You start dancing off. It's like the Goblet of Fire fucking banquet.
Yeah,
happening
but it's all
here.
re-
Oh,
all
Harry
the
Potter, come along, dance with me, Hermione. I'm from a different school. I'm going to be competent.
all the dances and stuff are like
Try
rehearsed.
wizard tournaments.
And your parents pay like $150 each to attend. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
great
Jesus
stuff.
Christ.
And so we like I paired up with this girl who I was sort of like friends with, and for some reason
Yeah, you did.
her boyfriend wanted to kill me because he thought for some reason that I was trying to pick her up. I'm not sure. Anyway,
Were you?
No, I wasn't. No, it was actually a weird story. Like they were at a party. We were at a party, and I was at the front, and a taxi rocked up. They're like, "Oh, taxi here for Shelley." I'm like, "Oh, I'll go tell her that." Her taxi's here. And I went inside and she was talking to her boyfriend. Like they were having like an argument. I'm like, hey, Shelley, your taxi's here. And then they for whatever, I walked away. And for somehow he had heard that I had gone up and said to her, hey, Shelley, let's go. Our taxi is here. So, but when I was just like, hey, your taxi is here at the front. Anyway, so from that, he wanted to just beat me up. He was like an older dude, not in school anymore or whatever. And so we had our so you would do like your dances at the like you do your first round of dances and then you'd go and have dinner and then you did like the encore dances, like you'd come out and do like the one more dance like sort of thing. And anyway, so we all went and did that. We had our photo. That's right. In between that, you have to go and have your photos, your deb photos. And I'm like looking around. I'm like trying to find where the fuck is she? Like, she's just disappeared. I'm like running around. They're like, Jack, you need to have your photos done now. I'm like, I don't know where my fucking partner is. She's fucking gone. Anyway, find her. She is somehow in the 30 minutes in between, like, stopping the dancing and, like, having dinner and then going to have the photo. She has gotten fucking blind.
Pregnant.
Like, paralytic, drunk, like, falling over, fucking, like, just gone. I'm like, oh my God, Shelley, what the fuck? Anyway, so we somehow managed to get, like, some drunken photos done where she's not like, and she's like trying to like hug me and kiss me and stuff. I'm like, no, your boyfriend already wants to kill me. I do not need this now. And then we went and did like the encore dance, and it was it was so funny to watch because she was fucking gone, and she's like, we're doing the songs, she's like singing like the songs as we're dancing, and it's all like James Blunt and that kind of thing, and it was fucking hilarious. And then you do the dance then where you swap partners, like the last dance is like you swing around and then like you swap partners with everyone else. And my mate Tyson, he was sort of like, he was dancing next to me with his partner, and then he was just laughing at me the whole time, and then we had to swap partners, and I'm like, she's all yours, motherfucker, enjoy. And it was it was just a
Should have given her a quick spin so she threw up on it.
oh, there was many spins, and I don't know how we made it through it, but it was.
Was this when you had the tie with the stuffed up knot?
This may have been. Yep, that might have been that, and with my massive
The
mohawk.
silver vest?
Yeah, silver
and the
vest, yep,
Aviators?
yep.
Yeah. I'm going to send a
Aviator.
photo to everyone in the group
Yeah.
chat. Just
I've
gonna be
seen.
the,
I think I've seen
Make
that.
that the thumbnail. So that was but yeah, that was a good night, a funny story. So
Yeah. No, I did not have any dances.
No, nothing like that.
No.
interesting. I thought that was something that
Yeah,
everyone did.
we had that sort of stuff, but nobody really danced at them, and we definitely didn't have dinner.
It was like a proper fucking thing. But anyway,
It sounds very fancy.
it was very fancy for a public school, but all the schools around us did it.
Yeah.
I don't know whether it's a Victorian thing.
yeah,
or-
it was definitely all the public schools around
City slicker thing.
my area
Yeah.
did that too.
yeah.
I attended one as a friend, but
Yeah, interesting. After party
Never
was
had
dope.
mine.
It was all about the
Victorians.
after party. It was not about like the event. It was about like the after party. Like, that was always what it was about.
Yeah.
It's always about the after
Fuck
party.
yeah.
Yeah, at my school formal, the after party was going to someone's place and playing a bunch of Xbox.
Nice.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
Sounds
Apart from
like
you should have
went
been playing
home to bed.
PlayStation.
Yeah.
What was that, Doc?
very good. Very good.
I went home to bed after our formal thing, whatever. you
Yeah.
call it.
Yeah,
I was like, it's
sleep.
over, cool. I can go home. I can sleep. And then I went to school because we had school the next day.
Oh
They did it
no
for
way,
the
that
middle of the week.
sucks.
Yeah.
And then everyone turned up, and then half the people got sent home next day because everyone, of course,
Still
was
drunk?
either still drunk or hungover, and people, turned up in their suits and stuff because they hadn't even gone home and whatever else. And
Great.
there I am, just like
Great.
Ready to learn.
I'm
Yeah,
ready to
he's
learn.
sitting
Everyone.
diligently
Like,
reading 3 books ahead.
Oh dear. Oh dear. Very good.
Yes.
Very good.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, we might leave it there, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us again for another episode of Platinum No, this is Pleasure Explosion. Oh dear. Oh, no.
You don't even
how
host
is
that
this
show.
how is this
Fuck's
anything like a
sake.
PlayStation podcast?
I'm still hungry. I'm still drunk from last night. This is a product of
I
the
did say
Explosion.
PlayStation.
This is a product of the Explosion Network. You can check out Platinum Explosion if you like over at www.explosionnetwork.com. You can check out Viewing Gods. You can check out Grandstand Gurus. Check out our YouTube, bit.ly/Explosion Network. Have a look at our Reacts channel. We've got some E3 stuff up there. It's all really good and really awesome, and we love it all. We love you. Thank you for joining us. Dylan, where can the people find you?
Twitter at Viva La Deal, VIVALADIL. YouTube, Viva La Deal. Thank you very much. You can find me on the Explosion Network.
Ashley Hobley.
You can find me on Twitter at Ashley Hobley, ASHLEY, I'm also on the Explosion Network.
Jonathan.
you can find me on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter at Jono himself. You can check out my other podcast. Thanks for coming on this week, Jack, to talk about my new book, The Spy and the Maven.
You got a new
My
book?
absolute
I
pleasure.
do. It was it was a pleasure of mine too.
Very good.
There were no explosions though.
Oh, it's a shame.
and
Oh.
yeah, buy my book,
What's it called?
The Spy and the Maven, and you can tweet at me for a signed copy because I get more money from those.
Team
Is your boy buy my book?
It's your boy, Joe.
T Marsh.
Was that
Thomas?
me?
Yeah, T Marsh is you.
Oh.
T Marsh is indeed you.
Yeah,
Yes, you
I
are
got a
T
bit of
Marsh.
static there. You can find me anywhere and everywhere. TomDaBomb89, TomDabom89, and as Jono said, Facebook. You can actually find me. Facebook.com/TomDaBomb89. And
There you go.
final note: the only note that I took for this show that we didn't talk about, but maybe it's a good topic for later. School is a glorified childcare that doesn't do enough to teach young people about living in the real world. That's what I think.
Very good point. Yes, absolutely.
I think
It
we
just-
need Nick for that one.
It just never quite came up.
No, very good.
I'm not a fan.
Not a fan. Not a fan. It's your boy. And you can find me on Twitter at Cruzy_mate. You can also find me on YouTube, CruzyMate. Check out my videos and stuff if you want. Subscribe to it. Subscribe to our network also so we can get a shiny new URL. Until next time, I guess we'll see you when we're looking at you. Bye.
This
Try
is
Wizard
audio
Tournament,
only.
Professor Flickwick, Wingardium
Watch the Lauren
Leviosa.
video.
This recording on the iMac because issues with laptop. I think it's laptop anyway. And because we're recording early today, I get to use the iMac in the lounge. So let us see how this goes. I'm actually going to put my headphones in as though I was in a Hangout or a Skype or whatever, and I probably would then usually talk at this level. Don't know what shit Dylan's talking about, but somebody mentioned having my phone on flight mode, so I sneezed, and then I put my phone on flight mode and turned Wi-Fi on because I'm expecting a link for a hangout because we're supposed to be recording in like 10 minutes. So, yeah, I'm not doing 10 minutes of testing. I don't have enough time for that. So I have done 1 minute there.